when I read this article about District 46 board member accused. There's apparently a misunderstanding, a miscommunication, but two employees felt, what were the words? Worried and threatened. And Mike Carbone. Everybody I've spoken to that I'm aware that's in this district thinks this is nothing but trumped up charges. Now what's laughable about it is trumped up. And we have instances on this school board where there are situations that are demonstrable, certifiable, and proven. We have felonious behavior from this school board. Still, nothing changes. Not even the grace to resign. We have crony capitalism. And, well, at least he had the grace to resign. So we have one minor little baby incident over someone who has demonstrated his desire to get behind the taxpayers, the students, and the teachers. And yet we have this stupid article that defames him, trumped up. And it would be laughable if I wasn't paying $10,000 worth of taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. No further public comments, or there's one more?
And I think if he had checked with legal counsel, he was out of bounds. There was another school board member that was asked to comment. And that school board member chose not to comment because, again, what was being presented in the newspaper is a witch hunt. I'd like to know, when is this school board going to stop leaking information? We had a case a year ago where there was a school board member that was accused of things. I've never seen the facts or figures, but I am going to ask for them now, Ray. I want to see the facts on why Michael was censored, and I'll make a judgment call there. I have proceeded to sit down 3 different days with one school board member twice and another school board member a third time looking at emails. What I have seen is criminal. That's my opinion, but it's criminal. Lenny Jarrett asked for the emails, and if they are put out, it's going to embarrass a lot of people. Oh boy. I have sat through meetings, and maybe I'm not perfect, but I'm going to tell you what. I think all of you people out there should ask to see these emails. You make the decision. I want them turned over to the state's attorney's office. I want a third person to come in here and either tell me I'm wrong or tell the people that are in these emails and the corruption that they have conducted over these emails finished up so that we can get on with the problems. And the major problem being the air conditionings. But this has got to stop. And we're dragging our feet. It's costing us money. Why? Let's get it out and let the people decide, and let's let the state's attorney's office have it. Thank you.
Why aren't you directing this? Why are you giving your authority to somebody else to direct the lawsuit to deal with this? So, as I said, right now, the judge also said because you didn't turn over the emails that you thought were at some other place, he was leaning toward forcing you guys to pay attorney fees now. So it's going to cost you several $1,000s. You've lied to me, you've lied to the community, you've lied to fellow board members about these emails that you claim never were there. They're there, and we know it's there now because it was talked about in court. Yeah. So, even though you've done that, last year I offered not to go to court. I'm standing here again today to offer to save you guys thousands of dollars. Release the emails to me, and one thing I will ask this time is you give me an affidavit that there are no emails, because obviously we can't trust you right now because you lied to us before, and you've lied to the judge now about this. So, This is getting ridiculous. I'm asking you to return those over, and I'll consider dropping the lawsuit and save you guys several thousand more dollars. I'm not sure how much it's going to cost you. Next court date, September 20th. So you've got a little over a week to decide what you're going to do about that and get that taken care of, because this is ridiculous. This needs to be getting over with. You need to be back to the business of the school district, not trying to cover up and hide things that you're doing illegally and unethically in the district.
A more orderly process for discussing this matter, and to give the Board of Education a more full and developed understanding of the facts and positions of the parties, I recommend utilizing the Board's uniform grievance procedure and appointing a complaint manager to investigate this matter. Thereafter, the Board of Education will be able to take any action it determines to be appropriate, while at the same time respecting the privacy of those involved as much as possible. So what I'd like to do is put a motion that would refer this matter to be handled under the board's uniform grievance procedure, and to appoint Kevin B. Gordon of the law firm of Scariano and Hines and Petrarca to serve as a complaint manager. So I'd like to,
We need to go around and either agree or disagree
Right.
by consensus.
so if we can go around and agree or disagree. Obviously, I agree. Yep.
Because of the situation and what has transpired here with the newspaper and the leakage from a board member, which should have been confidential, I think this is a kangaroo court to begin with. So I'm going to have to say no. I want this out and open, and let's get the facts and figures out there. I'm sorry that I'm putting 2 employees, though, on record, because this is wrong. And this should have never gotten this far.
It was my idea to follow the uniform grievance procedure. That's the way we've done it for every complaint in the past. And I felt that this should have remained confidential. It's got employees involved. I don't know how it got leaked to the paper. I think that should be included in that investigation. So I'm for the investigation. I think we should be handling it the same way we've handled every other complaint.
I agree.
I agree.
Michael?
No. I do have a statement. If I could read it, please.
Go ahead.
Has anyone ever had the strong sensation that an event or experience currently being experienced has been experienced in the past? If you have, that's what we call deja vu, folks. Politics season. Same thing happened a year and a half ago during an election. Same thing's going on now. So let me ask some straightforward questions. How many parents or how many parent complaints do we review publicly? None, because it's illegal. What is the board policy on registration? We don't have one. There isn't any. You know, you heard we have this case, Lenny talked about all these emails. I've seen some of those emails. You're dang right. It needs to go out to the public. And anyone on this board doesn't think that the public should see what's going on. They should be ashamed of themselves, because that stuff needs to be put out there. Our job is to protect our staff, our students, and our parents' privacy, no exception. To go above the law for personal vendettas is embarrassing, unethical, abusive, and most of all, disrespectful to this body of government. Folks, we've all been here before. It's well known. If some of you don't like to be challenged here, I get it. However, the tactics of intimidation, bullying, will not make me go away. I'm still here. I'm still fighting for this district. And I'll still expose wrongdoing and I'll fight to protect the jobs, the students, the staff, as long as I am here. And my record speaks for itself. Some members of this board and administration rather be kingmakers and play politics instead of talking about the real issues of this district. The past few board meetings, this board has actually had the audacity to talk about my campaign, about Michael Carbone. Here we are, the fourth meeting, talking about my campaign. That's what this is about. I mean, really, folks? The real issues that we should be talking about is how our superintendent is going to balance our $1.6 million deficit. How we could have lowered our insurance premiums for our staff and for this district, but the directive by this board, or by the directive by this board February 2nd, was ignored. And now we know we could have saved, well, the gentleman today said 75%. That's huge. And the one that Sue talked about with the other company, he got back to all of us. And she was generous or nice enough to give us a letter of his response. $375,000 our first year, and within 5 years we'd have a $2 million reserve for our staff. And it could be much, much more than that. Or how about, let's talk about our staff that asks the board what the definition of a balanced budget is. Or how our staff, when asked, do you have any solutions or ideas on how to balance our budget? And the response is, and I quote, "That's not my job. There's no money." These are the issues regarding business of this district. These are the issues that we should be talking about and debating about. Now, the same school board is repeating themselves once again. The board is attempting to defame my name by alleging that I acted improperly, acting as a parent, registering my 12-year-old daughter. This tactic, repeated false attacks and bullying, are nothing more than a retribution for what myself and fellow board members have uncovered and exposed these past 3.5 years. For example, election coordination on taxpayer time by Superintendent Correll and district leaders and other staff members with the campaign of board member Sue Backlund, board member Mary Garcia. What came of these charges? Correll publicly reprimanded for ethics violations. Mary Garcia, ethics violations that were sent to the state's attorney. Open Meeting Act violations, several of them, and they continue to happen. Insider hiring and criminal investigations of past board members. State attorney stated board member Sue Backlund committed at least 2 Class 4 felonies, but you know what? It wasn't widespread enough, folks. Superintendent Correll hiring a business manager who was on paid leave from another school district, and she failed to do something simple as Google it. And the continued hiring of business manager after business manager after business manager. I've been on this board and I've seen 7 of them. Now here in my hand, I've signed documents from the Attorney General Lisa Madigan and Lynn Barkley, and I'm going to read these so everyone knows what happened on March 16, 2011. Here was dated April 11, 2011, a FOIA request to Ms. Barkley. And what was requested were 7 things about my censure. A copy of the resolution passed at the Board of Education meeting on March 16th. A copy of any communication, including email, sent by or received by any staff member to or from any board members regarding the resolution. Any document that contains any information regarding accusations in the resolution. And this is the most important one, number 4. Any evidence presented to the Board of Education regarding the resolution. Number 5, a copy of the official minutes, a copy of the oath of office, and number 7, a copy of any communication, including email, by and between any board member of the Board of Education regarding the resolution. That was April 11th. May 2nd, because the FOIA request wasn't responded to, we had to go to the Attorney General, Lisa Madigan. So she stated to our attorney, Mr. Kevin Gordon, the school district must provide this information to us within 7 working days after you receive this compliance. September 6th, 4 months later, which is 6 months since my censure. Dear Mr. Dietz, below you'll find the answers to your response. Number 1, in accordance with your request number 1 and number 5, copies of the resolution and the board meeting minutes are enclosed, as previously provided to you. Your request number 2 and 3 call for records that are exempt from disclosure pursuant to 5 Illinois CS 148/7. Because they constitute preliminary drafts, notes, recommendations, memoranda, and other records in which opinions are expressed. I'll say it again, opinions are expressed, or policies or actions are formulated. The requests number 2 and 3 have also been denied, in part because they include records that are exempt from inspection and copying pursuant to Section 7, parentheses 1, parentheses M, of the Act. There are no documents responsive to your request number 4, 6, and 7. Now repeat that. There are no documents. And after I saw those emails, now I know. That's why it needs to go to the public. If you guys have any shame, you stop playing these damn games and give it to the public and let them see what happened.
Pay your registration fee. Just pay
In the
your
event-
registration fee.
Shut up.
And pay maybe, did you pay the ones from last year? I just want to know.
Wait.
Just pay-
Ray,
this
would
is
you
an
please
honor.
take charge of this? Take charge of this meeting. He is out of line. No, do it. Don't smile at me. Do it.
Just shut up and I'll do it,
How
okay?
dare you?
Hey,
You bullied those people.
It's a parent issue.
Keith,
Disgusting.
Keith, be quiet.
And by the way,
Michael,
that was
those
signed by
emails.
that was signed by Lynn Barkley.
Okay.
The actions of this district have been dragging us through the mud way too long. The people of Grayslake School District 46 deserve better than blatant and petty attacks of retribution and personal agendas. They deserve open, honest government with the focus being on the children of this district. I will continue to stand up to these bullies and fight for the children, the family, our staff, taxpayers of this district. I will not be intimidated and silenced. And if we can all please, can we all just move forward, as I've heard from our president say many, many times, but it seems like we can't. Move forward. Put the real issues first, like air conditioning, like our budget, for this district's sake. You know, that is why we are all here in the first place. Not about anybody personally, any one opinion. We're here to represent our community and our district. Thank you.
Any other discussion? I guess we don't have any other discussion on that. Well, I'd like to limit it because, you know, we've already had a consensus that we're going to use our complaint manager and using a uniform grievance procedure. And that's the way to get the facts out. We're going to get the facts out and then we can address it as a board.
Right, we have to make something very clear that the facts are, because they involve employees, this is a confidential issue.
Correct.
The facts are not made public, just like all of our other investigations were not made public. If there is action to be taken, that will be made public. However, the investigations are confidential.
Right. Okay. With that, I'd like to move on to item B, which is discussion of the resolution regarding behavior of board member towards staff. My resolution is motion to reaffirm board member commitment to the board oath and code of conduct as set forth in board policy 2:80/E, including the commitment to treat fellow board members, board employees, and community members with dignity and respect. Times, decisions that have to be made, and I think she's managed to weather the storm. So I'd like to see her, if she would agree, to hold on for another year.
Ray, did you go and read those emails?
Yeah.
Your name wasn't on that list that you signed in on.
Oh. I'm not sure, I thought you meant the emails regarding your censure. Obviously, I had those, because that was what we used when we considered your censure. And I assume you read
You
those
didn't
as
use
well.
those to consider my censure. That's not true. But the point is the emails, the new ones that were just given to us to review. I'm asking you, have you gone and reviewed those?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I think before you jump the gun here, make any recommendations, you should review those. And maybe I would think you might have a different opinion. If you could please do that, thank you.
And I'd like to encourage all the board members, even if you were the ones that were writing the emails, to go back and look and see what you have done. And there are some board members, besides myself and Shannon, that are not in there because we weren't on the board at the time. But there are some people that are on the sideline, and then there are people that were in the game. And we need to, again, have you guys look at them, and let's get this out in the open.
Okay, no further discussion on that. Next item is